G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. As a follow-on from my recent video about my seedlings and how I fuse trunks together, as I promised, here's one where I will do a different style with seedlings. So we've got some seedlings. Now what I'm planning, these are the slightly advanced ones, a bit more bigger than the other ones. And I've shown you an example of what I've done in the past where there's 3 trees that have grown and fused together. Now I took a photo of that and it should be the thumbnail for the video, but you can probably see there's 3 nice trunks. This one's the big one, this is the biggest, this is medium, and that's a smaller one. So there's three trees grew probably at the different rates, different speeds of course, and I've left them grow pretty much rampant. Haven't done really much with them because I'm just growing them for the trunks, but they've pretty much fused together. Now I'm hoping actually to repot that and show you the result of that. But firstly what I'm going to do is show you how I would have created that. So, and this is my technique. I know there's lots of other techniques out there, but this is just the way I do it. I try and keep it very simple. First year, usually I just put them together. So I don't wire them or anything like that. Don't wire them into shape or don't bend them or anything like that. As long as they're spaced unevenly or spaced, you know, just a bit of space, like just, I'll show you what I mean. So these are just randomly spaced really. You can look at it different ways, different positions, and they're all kind of all different. There's no real right or wrong, so they're just nice 3 trees. So I'm going to try that with a 3 tree group and a 5 tree group. So that's what I'm planning to do. But this is my technique. So I found 3 seedlings that are kind of got some movement. There's just a little bit of movement in them, mainly at the base. I'm only caring about the base. So this one kind of bends around like this, so you can see the big bend in it this way. So then I try and find one that goes the opposite. So I put them, this one kind of goes the opposite. So you can see already if I put them together right there, the tight right there, then I've got separated trees, and then I try and create one slightly in the middle and just put that there as well. So then I roughly got 3 trees that are kind of growing naturally away from each other. But how do you secure that? Now I just do it pretty simply, get a piece of wire, wrap it around the base, and that's it. So just any piece of wire. I don't really worry about it being too tight. Sometimes they'll air layer itself, which is even better. Then you don't have to worry about trying to grow the roots. So there you go. That's it. Nice and reasonably tight. And trim off the excess. Keep it simple. I don't touch the roots because I want them to grow as long as they can be. And there's 3 done. So I'm just going to chop off the excess. Wire that is. And that just goes right in the pot, and I just leave it alone, grow it on. And there's a 3 tree group. Now I don't even repot it. I don't touch it for, this one I've left a bit too long, but I don't touch it for a couple of years so they can try and fuse together. I want them to grow strongly, I'll feed them heavily, and they're good to go. So I'll just put some soil in. So there you go, and I just leave that, water it, feed it as per normal. I'm going to try the same thing with the 5 tree group, same process, nothing different, just go through it. With the 5 tree group it's probably a little bit harder because you want to try and get the directions in different angles and ways, but it's a little bit trickier. So I find if you hold it right at the base where you're going to wire, you'll be able to position the trees in different positions and find out how they naturally will grow. So you see I get 4 there, and I'll probably put this one in the back, and there's 5. Keep it simple guys, it's not that hard to do, but there's all different techniques. Some people drill holes in tiles and put the seedlings through the tiles, the drills have hole, that kind of stuff. There's heaps of other techniques. I know Bjorn's got a really good technique as well. So there's so many different ways to do it, but just this is my way. Because I think of it as, I was shown once how the Japanese grow root over rock trident maples, and how they just wire the tree and the roots to the rock, and I was shown that technique. So you can see it's pretty reasonably spaced, and they're not stuck together, they're actually quite spaced that way. So that's the other way I do treat seedlings. So these are a bit more advanced, and I showed you why they were a bit more advanced, which is great. So a bit more advanced, let them go, let them just go rampant, grow the trunks, and then I'll look at trying to get the nice flat nebari in the future. But I'm just trying to get them fused together first. So I'll put them in a pot as well. So this year my focus is on, I'm going to feed my trees very heavily. So each year I try and do something, experiment on something or do something. Last year I was a bit slack on my feeding. So with these trees I want to try and really speed the growth up. I'm going to feed quite heavily and I'm going to see what the results are. So there's two group. This is another way to deal with seedlings, creating groups and things like that, or clump style maples, and this is quite normal, quite easy to do. You see me, doesn't take me long at all. You know, a few minutes and you're done. So I don't wire at this stage. I just I let them take and let them grow into the wire and let them fuse together. So as I said, sometimes the wire will actually air layer for me, which will create nice roots at the top level, and eventually create nice nebari, if that comes to the point. But there you go. I'm going to see if I can get this guy out and try and show you the roots on that, because this can be repotted at this time of year. I know it's a little bit early, but there's no real problems with maples. They usually come up earlier anyway. So I'll show you how these three have come. First time I'm going to see them for a few years, so it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, when you don't touch them for a couple of years, that's where you get really strong, heavy growth. I don't touch the foliage. You see it's gone crazy. It's really nice and full and healthy. So let's have a look at the roots now for that one. And this is why I probably love trident maples, because that's what's come out of the pot. It's the same shape as the pot. Even the roots have come out of the base. That's what happens when you don't repot trident maples for a while, just full of roots. So it's going to be fun to get through this, but should be pretty easy. I mean, I'll mostly cut most of that off. I do want to try and find the nebari, so I'm going to work away trying to get and show you that, but I just wanted to show you these nice, thick, heavy roots, beautiful, healthy tree. Now I want to work on the nebari and getting the flatter root base at the top. I'm going to dig down and see what I can find in terms of where the nebari starts. And I'll come back and show you, because it could take me a while to get through that. Can you hear that? It's pretty rock solid, so gotta get stuck into it. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Just quickly show you, I've got it to the point at this point. I pretty much went straight through with scissors, straight through the base. Just want to show you that. Looks like a little teepee, but it looks very cool. So I just went straight through that with scissors just to get rid of it. We don't need that. Goes straight in the recycle bin. So now it's at that stage. I've combed down most of the roots. However, what I like to do is give it a good jet spray, just try to wash all the roots out, and just to see a better idea of where everything is. I can feel some really heavy roots at the base, so before I cut any of that off, I want to just wash it all, trying to wash as much of it off as I can, and I can show you the result. But those ones there, those little ones that we created, will be this in a few years' time. So that's what I'm trying to get through today, but I thought I'd show you this one as an example. Alright, so I gave it a good clean. Now you see nice healthy roots everywhere. Those definitely trunks have fused together. I can't move them. It's really good. But I do find some really heavy roots down in here. And that's the problem with not obviously putting a tile underneath so they can flare out. They just went straight down. So my opportunity today is I'll cut that back and then put it on a tile and reposition it, so hopefully the roots will spread out. But I'm going to cut this pretty severely. I'm going to really cut right back into it as much as I can, and let the roots just spread out over a tile and make that nice big nebari. So that's the plan now, and I'll show you how. I'm just going to get through all this. It's going to take me a while, but I'll get through it and I'll show you the result. Alright, so that was a pretty difficult task, but that's what happens when you don't root prune and don't have a tile that it sits on, so it creates nice nebari for you to work with. So show you how much I cut off in terms of roots, so you can see hopefully how heavy that was, and it was all right at the bottom of the pot. Really can't use this at all in the tree growth, so had to all come off. Now, do you remember how big that root spread was? That's all that's left now. That's all I kept. Now you can see how good that trunk nebari is. These ones are a bit slower growing, but not as good. But now what happens is I've cut right back, the heavy stuff, all the way back as much as I can. So now it's pretty flat. You can see now it's pretty flat. Now I want to encourage that flat growth. And here's what I'm going to do. So I've got a tile, offcuts from just wherever you can find offcuts of tiles. I'm going to place it there. I'm going to wire it very lightly down onto that tile, and then I'm going to repot it. So I'll show you what that means. I haven't got my wire ready, silly me, but I'll get some wire and I'll do that and I can show you. Hang on. Alright, so I have my wire. Nothing too fancy. I'm just going to try and, it's already pretty much, the base is pretty much all cut back, so now it's just wiring it onto the as roughly as I can, just to hold it in place. Doesn't need to be anything too tight, it's just to hold it in place. It's like almost you're tying it into a pot, you know? I'm just tying it in onto the tile. So it's just roughly there, just sitting there. I could do a bit tighter, I might tighten that up a little bit more. Just with my hands, nothing too hard, just so it doesn't rock too much. There you go, it's sitting on the tile. Might reposition it slightly. Now what's going to happen, it won't go down, it'll grow outwards. And hopefully improve that nebari really well. And so then, I'm just not happy with the position, give me a sec. Okay, there we go. Tighten it up. Now I know some people who even trim these even further back, so don't be scared. Tripe maples are very resilient. Where's that hot moving? There we go. Now I've got it in got to get in a bit more of a shallower pot, but wider, and so that's going to pretty much sit in my really nice open mix that you've seen videos on. I'm just going to try and bury that a little bit. Alright, so now I'm just going to top it up with soil, which I have to go get more of. I can bring the whole thing with me, but pretty much I've got to get more soil, but you get the gist. That's it. Like from these guys, you can create that in no time at all, and that's what we'll work towards. And I hope you enjoyed that, and that's how a good way to deal with this. I'm not going to actually touch any of the shoots. That's almost my that's all my solar panels for my roots. So I'm going to leave that alone. They've got buds and everything. Let that grow and explode. Should feed the roots, make the roots grow. And there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Another quick one and a good one, hopefully for you guys, especially beginners, in how to grow these trees. See you next time.